Seahawks head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Thursday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Prime Video. Dallas is so hot right now. They are on a 3-game win streak, and they have the #1 scoring offense in the league since Week 8, which is great for November. That's the streak you want to be on. But Dak Prescott knows the numbers don't mean that much at this point this season.
What I say to myself is I haven't done, you know what I mean? It's regular season, numbers are great, we're getting wins, that's what's most important, but at the end of the day, we're trying to stack and keep growing this team to make sure that we're getting better each and every week. We've won some games in a tough league, but at the end of the day, it's about the next game. And right now, we've got a good Seattle teams coming in. I understand they've dropped a couple, but here recently. But this is a good team, and they probably need this win more than a lot of teams in the league right now. Just with the way the playoffs and everything's starting to set up as you get football going after Thanksgiving.
Jason, what was he trying to say there?
They need this win more than we do.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Translate.
We're doing good.
So Dak mentioned the NFC playoff picture as we take a look at it. Seattle's 6-5, and they currently sit at the #6 seed, ahead of the Vikings and just behind the Cowboys. The Cowboys, though, with an 8-3 record, they find themselves there because the Eagles are on the left side of your screen. They currently hold the bye in the NFC playoff picture. Sunday, we're going to see the top 2 seeds in the NFC, the Eagles and the Niners, square off. Those are both teams that the Cowboys have lost to this season, which brings us to our first topic of the day. Jason, what kind of message could Dallas send to San Francisco and Philadelphia while they're watching Thursday Night Football?
It's funny when you talk about Dallas and you're saying message and it's a regular season game, and it brings up the topic that we all love to talk about. Dallas can't send a message in this game, nor do they need to. They've been rolling as of late, and that's the only thing they can do. I feel like you go into this game against a Seattle team who's above 500, a good team, and if they beat up on them, you're like, all right, Dallas beat up on a good team, and they beat up on them good, won by +20 or whatever the case it may be. We'll come in here on Friday and we'll say, well, Seattle had already lost 2. They're struggling to stay in the playoffs. Geno Smith is banged up. We'll come up with every and any excuse. And we'll be like, all right, Dallas, they're going to get their 12 wins in a regular season. Well, talk to me in January. So for me, as you watch this Dallas team, and they're continuing to play really well, Dak Prescott has been absolutely balling. If you have him in your fantasy league, you're looking at, and he's putting up 30, 40 points week in and week out. As of late, that's all they can do. I don't think for them at this moment, it's like, all right, we have to continue to go out there and prove our doubters wrong. They're playing better football. They got beat up on by the Niners. They lost a close game to the Eagles, but they continue to show up week in and week out, and that's all they possibly can do. I don't think there's a message to be had. If they blow out Seattle, I don't think we come in here and we're like, all right, Dallas is for real. I do believe, me personally, that they are for real. They're real contenders in the NFC. I put them in the same boat as Philly and the 49ers. No, they don't have the record. They've lost to those teams, but they can compete with them. As it comes down the stretch, this Seattle game is kind of like that tune-up for Philly. And Dak kind of said it right there. Seattle needs this one more than us. This is a game you go out there, no matter how desperate they are, whatever the case it may be, you find a way to win this game, knowing on the other side of it, you have a Philadelphia team that you've already lost to this season that you want to get back at and possibly have Philly drop some, then you split and you have a chance to win the division.
I look at it this way. There's 3 things that matter. We look at that tournament picture and how it's going to come out. The bye matters.
Yes.
Home field matters, and who you're matched up against matters. And if you're Dallas, you have to win these games, because you might say, well, we're 2 games behind the Eagles, and if they lose to San Francisco and we beat them, well, then we're tied. Okay, but here's the truth of the matter is, most likely if you're Dallas, you're going to have to go to San Francisco and to Philly in the playoffs. You don't want to have to play a power like the Lions or someone else in that first round. You get the NFC South winner if you hold your court and you win these games at the wild card. Top wild card. You want to play Atlanta. You want to play Tampa. You want to play New Orleans. You don't want to have to play the Lions or the 49ers or the Eagles in that case. So to me, it's like you've got to make a message to those 2 powers that we're here. We're ready again. This is different than last year. We're ready to go into your building and beat you. We're ready to host you if we somehow figure out the tournament and we get the 1 seed. But I think for me, like, this message is more about we're just going to beat you up and down. I look at the second half of that Washington game on Thanksgiving. What'd you say? 45 million people watching.
Yeah.
Third most Americans to ever watch a football game in the regular season. And guess what? They put on a show. And I promise you, there were 49ers players watching this game. And I promise you, there were Eagles players watching this game. The 49ers guys were warming up for the Seattle game. The Niners guys, the Niners guys were warming up for the Seattle game. The Eagles guys were probably watching a little Bills tape, but had this on in the corner. And it was domination. This would scare me. This would intimidate me. They say it's against Washington and the game got out of hand. That's fine. Guess what? They showed what they can do. And to me, Seattle coming in limping, 2 losses in 5 days, lost to the Rams, lost to the 49ers. Go and take care of business. Blow out the Seahawks, put a message out there and say, hey, yeah, we're good taking on the NFC South winner like we did last year and we beat up on Tampa. But we're actually better than we were last year, and we could take you boys on, too, if we had to.
They need the win for the playoff standings, but there's no message. I don't see. You know why? Because the message has already been sent. We understand. They understand. Like, Dak is playing really well. The Cowboys have this second-year guy out of Fresno who turned into primetime. Like, they have an incredible team. We already know that. I don't think if they beat Seattle 31-13 that the Eagles text chain is going to be, wow, we really got to go to work this week. Did you see they get it. They understand. It's already done. They're very good. The problem for Cowboys in terms of sending a message over is, like, Seattle's stock is really down right now. Like, it's just, they've lost 3 out of 4. They're not scoring on offense. So if you beat Seattle 31-13, great, good job. It's holding serve. The problem is then you go lose to Philly 34-20.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules, guys. Like, you have to get better as a team. There's a bunch of teams in the league right now who are not getting any better in year or year to year. It's just the same team. Don't go lose by 2 touchdowns to Philly. This is the Seattle thing, fine. Beat them, respect. You're at home against a team that's suffering. Don't go lose by 2 touchdowns to Philly. Or, like, you have everything. You got the quarterback, you got the coach, you got it, and you're not getting any better. And it's just all setting up for us to get burned by the Cowboys pizza again. And here's what I mean. Like, the Cowboys are just this unbelievably beautiful slice of all-American pizza that every year gets set down next to us. It's just piping hot. It's got the toppings on the box and that little plastic table. And you're just like, I can't wait to tear into it. And so you do. And you're like, this is great. And you tear into it, and you just burn the crap out of your mouth. And you're like, next time I'm not going to. I know better. I know I have to just pump the brakes a little bit. Just a hot minute. Give it to cool down. And you don't. You bite because you see that star and it's packaged well and there's kettles and owners and all this stuff. And you bite it and you burn yourself again. And you just don't learn the lesson. This year, just try. Just for humor us. Try to not get fooled by the Cowboys pizza again. It's hot. It's going to burn you. The rest of the pizza then afterwards tastes terrible because your mouth is burned.
Yeah.
If they lose to Philadelphia by 2 touchdowns and they beat Seattle tomorrow, you got burned again. Just chill a little bit. We've done this every year.
It's different this year.
Yeah.
This is the year. I keep asking. That pizza is still piping hot. It's like they got the Pop-Tart filling in the pizza somehow. The McDonald's 80s apple pie filling is in that pizza. It just nukes you.
You went with the plastic piece in the middle.
Yeah, the little table.
I know it, but...
And they want a place at the table.
Out of there.
And I don't know if they're there. Yes.
It makes not only the rest of the pizza taste not great, it's like for days on end you're reminded of the poor decision that you made.
The Toxic Avenger is in my mouth because of the Cowboys.
Your mouth is all fuzzy and you're like, why did I do that to myself? I kind of disagree with you, though. I think they have to do better than hold serve. I think 31-13 against the Seahawks would just be like, cool, Cowboys, to your point, like, are you still the typical Cowboys? They shut a team out this season, and I think you either need to hold the Seahawks to like 7 or fewer points. And if you can hold the Seahawks at home in Dallas to 0 points, then you are likening them to the New York Giants game that you played in the first. Dak was playing well, and a defense that can have that kind of standard, then that would be a team that I would fear.
You said a can of what?
Just a can of something. Okay. You know, just it's 7 a.m. A can.
I want you to finish it. I can't whoop.
No, just like Dak didn't finish his thought. I didn't want to finish that.
Do you want to seize the day?
Let's do it.
Can we seize the day?
Seize the pizza.
Please talk about it. There's a different Caesars that makes pizza. I like this one.
I know.
I like them both, actually.
I know. I like the little ones, too.
Combine them.
This one, you seize the day, presented by Caesars Sportsbook and Casino. Let's take a look at the odds for the first touchdown score in tomorrow night's game between the Seahawks and Cowboys. Now, we said week 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown set us off, and we've been doing it every